Okay, and let's hope everything working with YouTube. Let's see. Yep, everything seems to be going well. Welcome back to another adventure. Let's begin. Last time we started, we were an adult. And I have no clue where we were or what we were doing. So let's see. Let's see what we got. Dang it. I have to go through the menu again. I have to enable my controllers. Give me a second. Controllers. Load remap. Done. Resume. Okay. Now the buttons work how I expected. Okay, so what can we do? What could we do? Oh, man, it's been a while. I believe we need the hook shot for the forest temple. We can do the fire temple, but we have no keys. Okay. Can we do the water temple? I think I need the hook shot for the water temple. Okay. Spirit temple. Did we go along the song, the storm song? Song of Storms? There we go. I can't speak. I don't know if we have or not. Let's see. Okay. Oopsie. Spirit we can't do because we need keys. We could try the Gerudo. Do we have a Pona song? I went completely all the way around. Let me guess, that's the one song we don't have. Yep. Okay. Thank you, the blackened one. Okay, what else can we do then? We could do the ice. Let's go do the ice. We can do the ice. We are capable of doing the ice one. Maybe. And hopefully the ice one gets us something nice. Something that we can carry onwards to our adventure. Wow, it's so dark. Oh, there's the sun. Because that's how physics works, guys. You can go from pitch black to sunny morning. Wait, why am I doing this? Oops, wrong way. Dang it. There we go. It's been a while, as you can see. Nah, I think we're just gonna do backwards run. But I actually think I need to go up this hill. Right? Yeah, I think I need to go up this hill. No, I don't. I need to go back. Wow, we traveled some distance. I didn't expect us to travel so far. Oh, the sound effects. Oh, it's been a while, guys. It's been a good while. How is everyone today? We're not trying to get anything here. know. Do we have 4? Really, Link? Okay. How about you get up on that? Thank you, Link. Just take it. Okay, we're just not gonna try. We're not gonna do that. We're just gonna keep moving forward. We'll do that at a later date. I also believe we got a majority of them. If not all of them, we might have all of them. Like all the ones we currently had available at the time. I do not recall Zelda Lullaby. No, no way. Okay. Do 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 do. And you guys are just gonna have to deal with the horrible sound effects, though. Everything's frozen. Oh, come on. There you go. And we gotta jump across the ice. What did we get? I'm almost certain that wasn't a heart piece. Ah. Oh, I don't have that enabled. There we go. Nope, not a bigger bomb bag. Maybe it was the bigger bomb bag. Yeah, it was the bigger bomb bag. More bombs for us. Oh. I hate how I like Roo turned off the hover boots. That's not good. I need those hover boots. Get back on the ice. Dang it. Get back on the ice. Come on. Thank you. Okay. Now that I have hover boots. There you go. Hover boots just cheat the ice so badly. Okay. I might have to use a blue fairy or something here. Okay. I can't remember what I need to get done, but I recall there being a lot of various steps. Kill that one. There we go. Nope, don't hurt me. Thank you. Eventually we're gonna get some blue flame. I think we have to collect all the silvers here. Yep, I hear a Scorchula. Ow. There we go. Yep, thank you, Link. I wanted to kill myself. You got me. Ooh, ice arrows. Can we even get it? Nope. Not yet. So we're gonna have to remember that, guys. Please. Please and thank you, guys. Please and thank you. Because you know I'm gonna forget. Even though I don't think they're critical items. I don't think the ice arrow is critical. Eh. Dang it. There's one down there trying to get me. So this problem we have. We're gonna have to use one of our bottles. Which, that sucks, but hey. At least we had a bottle. Dang it. Of course. Run. Run, you chicken. You can't face me. Dang it. This is where I wish I was I wish I was using the N64 controller. There we go. Dump. $41 Scorchulas. We are so close to getting 50. Dang it. Come on, get up there, thank you. There we go. Ooh, up the stairs. Dang it. Okay, now we got the blue flame. I think we go here next. this fun puzzle. Which we can do some trick stuff here and there. Dang it! I don't know if we're gonna be able to get that one. No, we're gonna have to move it. We might get that one though. I make all puzzles easy. Dang it, no. I don't even recall there being those up there. But okay. Whoopsie. I thought it was a little bit over. What? Why did I do that? I can't get up there. Never mind. Wee. That. And then we gotta go over here. There we go. And get this crystal, and I think the door behind us opens up. Yep. Come here. Or no, we're gonna lose this. Dang it. Bye-bye. Pretty sure I most likely won't be able to jump from that side. I might be able to make it there. We're gonna make my... Nope, I'm good. Get off. There we go. I don't recall there being 3 sets of 20 rupees up in the air like that. You know what? I think I know what I need to do. I don't recall this being here, but I think I know what song I need. Over, over, down, or over, 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 over. Do, 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 do. Oh, I was correct. Kinda sucks for me, but cool. Lessons learned. Dang it. Well, we're gonna be able to collect that thing anyways, because we don't have blue slime. Dang it. There we go. I wonder, can I get it in both positions? I might be able to with hover boots. And that should be close enough for me to get up here. Yep. Awesome. Now we do this. Yeah. Do 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 do. Let's see if I can figure out anything oh, it's two. Nice. That's nice. I'm pretty sure that was only in this version. Because I definitely do not recall 20 rupees being like that. And I definitely would have done something like that as a kid, so... No, I was wondering if I could recapture it. So that's the final one. So now the question is, what did I do wrong? Other than not kill all these bats permanently. I think I need to open that door up. Dang it. Dang it. No. No. No! I blame myself. I am in my own honor the main reason why we failed there. Of course there's nothing. The game's like, you failed. You deserve to die. Dang it, I was hoping I could turn back around fast enough. No! There's hearts behind me. No! This is where a bat's gonna come out of nowhere and kill me. No! 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 Get the last heart. Thank you, Link. Alright, we can leave this hellscape now. Okay, I believe we have to go this way. I don't think so, but I believe so. Because I don't know how else you open it. This has to be a pathway. Yes, Ransom. Good job. I didn't want the rupees or the big rupee bag, it looks like. Okay, let's go over here. Me so hungry. There we go. Really? Don't let me target the bat or anything. We're just gonna get in, get out. Get in, get out. That's all we need. Mostly it's gonna be cutscenes anyways. There we go. What's that for? Scorch hole. And I still don't know how to open the door. This is bad, guys. I don't need life. Life is for the weak. Whew, close. Okay. Over here now. Like I said, guys, sorry for the annoying sounds. Come on, get up. Thank you. I did some magic. Dang it! Dang it! Dang it! This is why I try to keep the fairy, guys. But of course, we're gonna get all the way back there. And I still don't know how to open up the back little portion. That's not a hallway. This is empty. Is that what I think it is? No, that's a blue rupee. That's the Song of Storms, I believe. Which I don't have. I believe that's the way I went in, right? Maybe it's not. Maybe... No. Don't hurt me. Let's see, what's down this path? Did we go down this path? Okay, this is the way I came in. Dang it, I thought I was close enough. Okay, I go this path. Have we done this path? There we go. Come on. Okay, up. There we go. Up again. This time, hopefully, we won't die. That was a close one. Guys. I don't know, there's somebody making critical commentary about how Breath of the Wild, Ocarina of Time has a lot of waiting games. So, like, there's a lot of enemies where they're basically invincible for a good portion, and they use the example of the wolves. Hookshot. We got into the Forest Temple. Maybe. Yep, we got the hookshot. Awesome. We also have the bow and arrow. We actually have the bow and arrow all the way up to 50. Okay. Oopsie. I don't need to do that anymore. Boom. Nope. I need to open here. Go back to float. Float, float, float. Okay. I think we are out of here, right? But I thought Sheik taught you something there. Oh, that must have been what the ice was. Well, off to the Forest Temple. I was like, I thought we'd learned something there, but nope, off to the Forest Temple. Well, we did it, guys. We got the hook shot. We might get as far as getting to the forest temple. This is gonna hurt, but there's only so many ways we can die. I was kind of hoping he would roll, but he was like, no. Okay, we'll take the safe path. The not fun path. I'm trying to remember how we get around him. Oh my gosh. I think we have a puzzle, guys. Aw, I was hoping. Money's money. Oh, we need Sailor's song. Dang it. We need the Sarah song. What's this? Yes, we can actually do that. We need money. It's okay. Is there money back here? You always left money back here when I was a kid. Okay, I think I can make enough money quickly. So we can go to the water temple, guys. Even though I don't have the tunic. Nah, we don't want to buy the ultimate potion. And I don't want to listen to the sun song. I know you've learned it. I don't want to. There we go. Do we have the song to no? We don't have the song to the lake. This way and okay. We get on this side. And yes, I know we don't have the tunic, but we can actually do quite a lot if we had enough hearts. Maybe we'll get enough hearts in the grass. What am I doing? I'm doing the slow way of cutting grass. Nope, okay, we're just gonna go with this many hearts. Yeah, no. Let's see, how many seconds is it gonna give us? A minute. We can do a lot in a minute. There we go. I was like, I'm certain that's how you get that open. Oh, there's more time. There's more money. Now, I believe I should open this one. Let's see. We're just gonna open up some of these and see what happens. Okay, I opened up the wrong one, because, can't remember, is there a secondary? No. Okay, so yeah, that's Dark Link, and then it opens into like this water well area, so we don't want to do that just yet. When we're starting, there's a lot better places we can go. No, close, but no cigar. Apparently, there's a glitch that lets me do something like that, and if I time it all just right, I can get up there without the long shot, but I've never successfully done it. There we go. I actually just realized I might actually want to see what's down that hallway before doing that. Even though I believe this. Too late. Well, I guess we won't see until we figure out how to move that block the other way. I think this is the way we came in. Yep. that's a locked door. That means it's bow. Which actually we might be able to do that. So let's quickly go up here. Whoop. Nope, come on. There you go. Nope, we need air. Okay. Nope, come on. It's like he wants to die or something. Okay, let's see what we got down here. I believe. No. Nope, nope, nope. Okay. We need at least 20 seconds, so let's see what we can get into beforehand. I don't know, maybe. Oh, come on, please be water. No! This isn't good. No, no. Yes! There we go. Ooh, and we found one! Awesome! What? I'm pretty sure this is how you bring the water down. This is the Zelda's lullaby. Do 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 do. Or is it the Song of Time? Well, someone says Zelda's lullaby. Okay. There we go. I guess I had to check it. I'm like, I'm almost certain it's the Zelda's lullaby. Ooh, I wonder. Ooh, I wonder. Nope. Nope, you can put that away. Nope, you can put that away. Dang it. Dang it. Dang it! Oh, so close. That would have been cool, but we had no cigar. I guess we're gonna use a bow here to do this. Yeah, is it gonna be close enough? I don't think so. Nope, it's close enough. Good. Nope, either way. There we go. Dang it! Okay, we're just gonna line ourselves up here then. Really? Come on! Really now? I think this game's cheating. There we go. There we go. I think I should have gotten it done like 40 hours ago, but hey. Dang it. There we go. Okay, Link. Okay. Whenever you don't want to go around the chest a billion times. Okay. We're good. We're gonna leave. Wait, I don't think there's anything else in this room. Nope. Okay. All of you, die! Thank you. Okay, let's see what's in this table. I don't know if it's worth it, so we're gonna go back. There you go, die. Trying to remember this one. Yep, now I remember. The dragon has a crystal in his mouth. There we go. And you have to catch your float here. Dang it. Oopsie. Well, that works too. Because I don't really need to fight those guys. At least not yet. Because I'm gonna die by ice otherwise. I'll find another way to die. Okay, and boots. And no boots. There we go. Okay. And no. Thank you. I can't remember. Is there anything of value down there? No. Okay. Boots. just take a quick. Oops. Nope. Up. Oopsie. Down. I'm like, please reach. There we go. Okay, and anything else of value down here before we call this story? Oh, yep. Bomb area. Hover boots. Uh-oh. I'm hoping this is a temporary thing. I actually don't want to do this just yet. We'll do that most likely in the next episode, because that will set the water level to the second one. So, I don't know if I want to open that key. So, yep, I think this is where we're going to call this stream. Dang it. Of course. Nope. Put away. Thank you, Link. Nope. Put away. Okay. I guess there's no way for me to easily show you Link's face. So, let's see what we got. We got the hook shot. We're pretty much gonna complete this level, I think. I think we can complete this. We got the bigger bomb bag. So, that's nice. But I think that's that. I hope you all have a lovely evening. And have a good night, everyone. Bye-bye.